What's up, everybody? I'm Weston. I like to build things, make things, design, and create things. I'm really excited to share this latest project with you guys, so let's jump right in. Today I'm going to be transferring a printed image to wood. So, somebody very dear to me really loves the movie About Time, and she also happens to love rabbits. In this movie About Time, there are a couple scenes where in the background there's a painting of a rabbit on the wall, and she has pointed this out to me and told me how much she loves this image. So I decided to recreate this image. I took a screenshot of the image from the movie, and I used that as kind of my reference while I was recreating this. It's just like a digital painting. So here's the image that I recreated from the movie, and I'm going to be putting it onto this piece of basswood. The image is reversed because when it goes onto the basswood, it gets turned reverse. Not that it really matters, but since I want it to match what's in the movie. The shape of this matches the shape of this board. And the way I did that was I took a photo of this board, and then I pulled that into Photoshop and used that as my guide for making this sort of border so that it should sit pretty nicely and have a relatively even border around the outside of this of wood. So all we need is the board, the printed image, which needs to be printed on a laser printer, and some Mod Podge. Yeah, Mod Podge, not Mod Podge. Sorry to shatter your crafting world, but yeah, this is the stuff we're going to use to get this onto here. So what I need to do first is get this cut out. So I've got a little bit of a border. I'm going to leave enough of a border that I can kind of sand down the edges, which will make sense later. So let's get this on here. So let's cut this out. Okay, that's looking closer. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to get it pretty close. So now, I've got to take this Mod Podge. This is a pretty large area to try to cover quickly, and this stuff dries pretty fast. So I need to get it fully applied to the image, and then just for good measure, it wouldn't hurt to slather a layer onto the board itself. We need to do all that pretty quickly. So, I also need to get my scraper. So, Pro Tool, Safeway Club card. There are no Safeways where I live. Got this while I was vacationing, so it seems like as good a tool to use as any. Okay, let's Mod Podge. Okay, I guess something else worth mentioning, which I sort of forgot to say earlier, is I printed this out quite a bit lighter than I want the final image to be, because putting it onto this wood darkens it a little bit, and then putting on a clear coat darkens it a little bit. So I made this lighter than I actually want it. We want to try to keep it true to what we were aiming for to start with. So, all right, so I'm going to pour my Mod Podge into this container so that I can dip and apply. So we can go crazy with this. We can just pour it back in when we're done. Cap it. All right, the moment of truth. Here we go. Carefully, ever so carefully. Placement looks pretty good. Start from the center and work my way out. Now we just keep our fingers crossed that I got it all on there good, and we wait. We wait. We let it dry and come back later to remove the paper. Well, now I wait. I guess you don't have to wait much at all. Alright, so I've let the Mod Podge dry for probably about 12 hours. The paper is kind of ripped because I put some painter's tape around and then covered this so that I could spray lacquer the sides to protect it a little bit, and it didn't seem to have much effect. Unfortunately, the bark is still very flaky, but that's okay. So now it's time to wet the paper and rub it off and reveal our image beneath. So I've got my sponge here that is moistened. I probably need to get it a bit wetter, but so we're just going to start getting the paper nice and wet. You can already see the image coming through there. So this section makes me a little nervous. Like seeing how well things show up or don't show up. It's like, is that a spot where the glue didn't go? I don't know. Like I said, I hadn't done a glue up this large before, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I really hope it looks okay. I definitely don't want to rush the process of removing the paper, because we don't want the image to come off with the paper. Paper goes, image stays. That's the goal. So it's like, are these areas where there was just glue that didn't escape? Are these areas where it didn't stick and the image is going to be missing? I don't know, I'm so nervous. These areas are looking a little better as they get more saturated. Still nervous about how they're going to come off. Okay, so start gently rubbing to start removing the paper. It's a great way to make spitballs. I have to say I don't like the sound that a wet sponge makes. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. The sacrifices we make for art, right? Trying to be really gentle, like I want to be really careful. Every time I've done this before, I've removed little bits of the image from rubbing a little too much. So I want to be very careful about that this time. So there are a few stubborn areas along these edges, which is a little odd to me, but I guess if there's going to be a stubborn area, the edge is the best place for it. I plan to come and sand down the edge of this so it's not so harsh anyway. Got this stuff, spray it on here. So here it is, the completed rabbit painting digital recreation, transferred to wood. I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. I think it ended up looking pretty close to the original painting from the movie, and the recipient said she loved it, so I will chalk this one up as a success. Let me know what you think about this project in the comments. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, hit that like button. and maybe even subscribe if you're feeling sassy. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.